hope that you guys are all doing great. It is Wednesday evening, right? Yes, was Wednesday evening. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas if you guys celebrate, and closer to this year being fucking over. Uh, amen to that. Because life has been lifing for a lot of us, right? So with all that said, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see here and decide to stick around. Check out other content on the channel as well if this message does happen to resonate, and if it doesn't, still check out some stuff. You never know, there might be a message that's just for you. So yeah, when you have a chance, you could check that stuff out too. And there goes my girl. I don't know why, I just like, I felt before I even started, I was like, I kept hearing your name. It was like, Allie, Allie, Allie. I just kept hearing your name. It's so weird. But that's how I know I'm connected to you, girl. Um, yeah, so one of my soulies is here, bestie, sister, all that good stuff. Thank you for being here, my love. Miss you and love you. Um, yeah, and then like for those of you who've already been rocking with your girl for a bit, you know, thank you for the continued support. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, thank you for being a part of this journey. When it comes to not just content creation and doing what I do on here, but just, helping me help myself as I also help you. Um, so, yeah, without further ado, I felt drawn tonight to do a reading about just, again, like I jokingly said, like life has been life in, right? A lot of us have been going through a lot of different things, and it's like it's been rough for a lot of people, and myself included. And this year has been a year of release. That literally is actually what this year was representing. It was the year of the snake, if I remember correctly, and that's about shedding. That's about letting go. So a lot of us have been kind of hitting that wall when it comes to, okay, this is it. Now it's time to let go of all the shit that no longer serves you. Let it all go. Release it, which has proven to be very difficult for a lot of us, myself included. Um, and as we near an ending to this year, um, I felt super drawn to just this idea of like this light at the end of the tunnel, like, and just seeing, what's on the other side of all of this, right? So with all that said, um, I pulled out a few decks that I felt drawn to, and we're going to start reading from them. I am going to start with, and I was actually introduced to this deck by my girl right here, the Phoenix Priestess. Ooh, excuse me. Third chakra, check her out. So spirit must be like, yes, confirmation. Yes, there's gonna be a lot to say from this deck, maybe, because I know my girl. One thing with her, I call her the shadow boxer. She's gonna make sure that she shows you exactly what you need to see about your shadow self, so that you can integrate that shit, compile it with your light, and become the best version of yourself. So this deck here. She introduced me to this, and I ended up buying it for myself. And this is the Dark Mirror. It's really good for shadow work. And I haven't used it on the channel in a while, but I felt really drawn to it tonight. So we're going to start with this one. I did cleanse and everything. Spirit, only let positive energy into this reading for the collective. Show the collective what they need to see at this time for their highest good. Clearest and most accurate messages, please and thank you. So let's start seeing what's going on. All right, so when I split the deck, we have I Won't Cry for You and Masquerade. So some of you guys might have been, I'll show you two cards, um, might have been like kind of putting on like a little bit of a facade when it comes to something or someone in your energy. Um, Maybe for a long time, like you cried, I just heard cried over spilled milk. Maybe you cried over spilled milk for a while, and you're realizing like there's no need to cry over, certain things, certain people, for what? Like, you know what I mean? Coming to this, you know, this ending phase and cycle of realizing like, you've put in all that time and energy into something or someone, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna keep on, overindulging, which is a weird word because that's not the word I want to use, but that's what I heard. It's like kind of like this outpouring of just constantly being there for a person or a situation and knowing that that shit ain't good for you, but you put up, you put on that front, so that everything is all copacetic and everything like that, but knowing damn well that that's not a situation that you want to deal with. And behind the scenes you might have cried about it, lost sleep about it, and then you realize, okay, yeah, this is just not what it's cracked up to be, and I have to remove myself from this. And I'm getting something along those lines. Like now, like you're finally getting to that point where like you're like that mask is starting to fall off, and you're being more forthcoming about who you truly are and how you truly feel about the circumstances. Um, Here on the bottom of the deck, we have fated to suffer. Some of you might have felt at one point in time that this was your fate, like like this is just what I'm gonna have, like that kind of like I just have to accept that this is my life and it's some bullshit. And it's like, no, this is not your life. Like things are going to start looking better and getting better. It's just this is kind of where you are or have been in the recent past for some of you, and just getting out of that funk, because I definitely have felt like that too, like where it's like, okay, when the hell are things going to get better, especially when you're trying to get things in order in your life and things are just like not turning around, or you feel like they're not turning around, but everything happens in divine timing. I know it's such a cliche, we hear it all the time, right? But it's true. What we have here, in a challenging position, we have peaceful among thorns. And it's, with it being in a challenging position, it's like it's giving me like this energy of you guys kind of getting out of this energy of how we just saw, fated to suffer. Like you're realizing, no, life is better than this. Like this is not where, like you're in this halfway point right now. Like this is not what life is. This ain't it. You know what I mean? And it's like you're understanding that more, you're getting that point, but you're still kind of straddling the fence in terms of like, okay, but when are things gonna get better? Right? Hopefully this is making sense so far. Hey Ruben, how are you? Welcome back. Grateful for you for being here. Um, but yeah, so like, yeah, you're trying to find that inner peace, but at the same time, like you don't want to, like, acceptance is one thing, but tolerance is another. So, like, we're not at this point where we're tolerating bullshit. I cuss on here. Sorry, guys. For those of you who don't like cuss words. But yes, if you know, you know. I cuss on here a lot. So it's like, with that said, you know, there's a big difference between tolerating shit and accepting, right? You're not tolerating shit anymore. You're willing to accept, that there are things that you can't control, and that's life. We can't control everything, we can't control the full narrative, but the things that you can, you're working on those things. I'm also getting that some of you guys are, remember we were talking about like that mask falling off. We have hiding your true self here on the bottom of the deck. So this energy of realizing, okay, I have to start becoming my more authentic version of myself. This is where you guys are headed. You're not quite there yet for some of you. Hey, She Radio, how are you? Yeah, still trying to figure it out and learn, right? Figuring out who you truly are at this time, like as you allow. Wow, that was shot out. I don't know if you guys saw that. It might have been out of frame, but that one went phew. Yeah, like it's funny because the card that came out is anger and change. It's like you're just like allowing, for things to just like be let go of. You're throwing that shit to the wayside is kind of what I'm getting. It's, you're letting go of this. This is not the energy that you guys are trying to be in anymore. You've been there, done that. It's like, okay, so now what where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, right? This energy of just again surrendering and releasing, right? You're not trying to be stuck in, bound to those chains that kept you feeling tied down anymore. You're realizing that it's time to let that shit go. I'm well, thank you. I hope you're doing well as as well. And thank you, Ruben, for saying that this is a good reading so far. Appreciate that. We have artificial heart here. Exactly. Going right back to what we were saying, right? This energy of, you know, holding back. And it's giving me like I mean, not throat, well, maybe throat chakra too. Um, I was going to say heart chakra, but maybe, like, you know, they're very, very much close to each other, right? A lot of times, if your heart chakra is blocked, then that means your throat chakra is blocked, and vice versa. So there could be a blockage there. And it's like, it's giving me, you know, there's a lot of maybe anger and resentment because of the fact that some of you guys might be feeling like you haven't been able to be your true authentic self, and you've been, again, wearing that fake mask and, you know, that facade, and not being able to really fully explore your true, you know, heart and your intentions and your feelings, holding back on a lot of that. There's a reason why I felt drawn to this deck tonight. I can't wait to pull from this. I think I'm gonna pull from it next. um but yeah, like, whew, yeah, envious gluttony here on the top. I heard eating off your plate. There could be people around you that might, oh, when I said that, oh, ho, ho, that's the truth. This left ear started going crazy as soon as I said that. I'm like, I feel like there's people eating off your plate. I'm getting energy vampire vibes. People who, excuse me, they don't have the best of intentions. You know, they put on a good front too. And then, like, you don't know how to, you know, approach that situation because you care about that person or those people, or that, you know, whether it's work or something like that, you know, take it as it resonates. But there are people maybe in your energy that are, you know, envious, and they feed off of you. Hey, blessings. You always say that you want to try to catch a live, and now here you are. Welcome. I know you've caught like one or two of them before, so I'm happy that you're here now again. We have Bride in a Cage. It came out technically in the reverse. The reverse is in the middle of the deck here. It was in the reverse though. So for some of you, this has to do with a spousal kind of situation or romantic situation where you're realizing, yeah, this is not what I wanted it to be. You let that shit go, or you're in the process of letting that go, and it did not resonate with what you wanted for your heart, right? You weren't able to speak your truth, your emotions the way that, or feel them the way that you wanted to and were meant to. um you're realizing now that, you know, you're not caged. You are releasing that. You're letting go. That's why it's in the reverse. um Moving past that. If it's not, this is another message I'm getting, because not everybody's going through like a, you know, domestic partnership and things like that. Like, not everybody's going through that kind of thing. But for other people, it could just be like, my mouth got super dry all of a sudden out of nowhere. Remember I was talking about like throat chakra, like somebody not being able to speak up. All of a sudden, my mouth just feels like cotton mouth, like I smoked a J and then like had a piece of freaking pound cake or something. That's how my mouth feels right now. Out of nowhere, I was just fine. Like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just felt that. That's interesting. But like, I'm getting like, for other people who, if it's not like a romantic kind of thing, it might be just like about traditions, like realizing that like there's like these traditions and stuff that have been, and expectations that have been bestowed upon you, that you felt kind of trapped into, and you're realizing those expectations don't serve you, they don't suit you and what you want in your life, and you're like, okay, yeah, no, we're not gonna play that game. I'm gonna do what I want to do for myself. You know, I also just heard Control by Janet Jackson, which is all about regaining control over your own life, making your own decisions, and not anybody else taking over the reins of your life anymore. You're the one in control now of the reins of your life. Get something like that, especially with like that change in or anger and change card that had just showed up. That would make a lot of sense, actually. Kind of coincides with that a little bit. Let's get let's get one more from here, because like I said, I pulled a few different decks that I want to make sure I get some insight from. make sure that this is a well-rounded message for you guys and you guys get the messages that you need to get from it. Oh, look, artificial heart is here again, officially. I'm also getting that this throat chakra is definitely a thing. Heart chakra is another. Um, One thing I'm picking up on is like endings and new beginnings, which makes sense because that's kind of what I was feeling even before I started the reading. But I'm also getting like karmic cycles. I'm picking up on karmic cycles for sure for somebody. Like those endings that are going to bring on these new beginnings, and it's like it took those lessons that needed to be learned in order to move forward and be in this place. um Hi Cherry, how are you? Hope you're doing well. And yes, blessings. Whew. This was a rough one. This was a rough one. um mm, I gotta check you out too, girl. She Radio. um on the bottom of the deck we have, sorry, I'm like looking at like the card itself and I'm like connecting to it. It says perchance to dream, which is like, you know, it's rep. I'm hearing, gosh, there's so many downloads coming at the same fucking time. I hate that. I love it and hate it at the same time because like when I'm trying to deliver a message, I'm like, come on, get to the point. Because like, you know, I know you guys are like, you know, okay, tell us what we need to know, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm trying to get the message and I can't. But right, because remember I kept saying like I'm picking up on like endings, and you know I'm getting like the number 10, I'm getting the number 11, like there's just like all these different things happening in my brain all at once. So I'm just trying to make sure I deliver as many of the messages as I can. And with this, you know, the number right here is 28, adds up to 10. And then perchance to dream, and then I'm just looking at like, when I look at the imagery, it's like it's giving me this energy of your, it's almost like your dreams were someone else's dreams, because there's an emptiness there, and it's like you were living up to other people's expectations and desires and not your own. I'm getting something like that, and now you're breaking free from that. Especially because like, because this card, I mean this deck has like moon phases, and there's no moon on there at all. It's like completely empty. Hi. One of my other sisters. I'm always so grateful when my people come in here. You know, I love you guys so very much. I always say it, but I'm so appreciative when you guys pop in and everything y'all do. It's very, very heartwarming. So when I see you guys popping in, even if it's just for a second, like that just makes me really happy. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you so very, very much. And that's another one of my sisters that you guys gotta check out. Aya Inspired. Check her out. Yes, absolutely. Love that. So I'm hoping like what I just said makes sense. Like this energy of, you know, trying to live up to expectations of somebody else and trying to fit. Yeah, see, faded to Severus here again. It's like it's just this energy of like, you know, trying to do everything for everybody else, trying to live for everybody else, and now it's time to like live your authentic self finally and remove. Yeah, look, naked before the stars. This is about authenticity. This is about letting go of expectations that other people have put onto you and doing something for yourself. No more, you know, pussyfooting around like what everybody else is telling you that you should and shouldn't do, blah, blah, like, no. Fuck that shit. Especially when you hit the big age of 40, like me. My birthday was on this past Saturday. I just turned 40. Whoop, whoop. But no, seriously, like just in general, right? Like, you know, we all should be able to have, you know, that sense of, you know, doing things for ourselves. I just heard from for those of you who watch Girlfriends, and it's not like I'm gonna be able to say like what episode is from or anything like that, but they're hey Cynthia, and thank you for the the birthday love. I appreciate it. But there was a episode when Jones, she's like, sisters, we're doing it for ourselves, and it's like, you know what I mean, like it's giving me that, like it's like, you're doing it for yourselves. Like this is about, this new chapter that you're about to go into, this new phase. This is about y'all. This is about you guys and what you want to do for yourself. No more other people telling you what you should and shouldn't do and all that BS. Fuck that. This is about y'all now. So now what I'm about to do is I'm gonna read from the archetype deck here, which is gonna talk about kind of like our light selves and our shadow selves, and so on and so forth, and just kind of seeing, what spirit wants you guys to know when it comes to maybe attributes about yourself, or maybe like characteristics of people around you, even that you should be mindful of. It might give you a little bit more insight about the people and energy that's around you, including your own, of things that you might want to be a little bit mindful of. So let's see what's going on. Let's do a split and then some shuffles. um, All right, so when I split, we have rebel. It says late attributes, challenges authority to. That's exactly it. It's time to be a rebel. A rebel with a cause is what I just heard. Challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Exactly. How ironic is that? That this is what I'm talking about, and I've been talking about. Shadow attributes, rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. In this case, you guys are rebelling in a positive way. So it's like, what does that look like and mean to you? Breaking that mold and going against the grain a little bit. And thank you, thank you. Love it. Sagittarius is in the building. Or anybody who has it in their chart. Aww. Cynthia, when was your birthday? Happy birthday. That's so awesome. Love it. Look at that. The birthday love pouring in. I know my girl Allie's birthday is coming up next year, like early next year in January. So that's nice. It's right around the corner, Allie. So, wow. All these birthdays coming in and all the birthday love. I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get it. Ooh, this one wanted to come out. I'm going to take it because I don't know what it is, but it wanted to come out. So I'm going to put it to the side. A couple more shuffles, maybe 3 more. See what happens with that. All right. Right, Bama. See, you can't make this up, guys. You guys are going against the fucking grain. Going against the grain. That's what they want y'all to do. They want you guys to be rebels and go against anything that is working against you. What do we have here? We have Prince here. It was technically in a reverse, but let me just see what it says. It says um, romantic charm and potential for power, but it came out in the reverse. So what's that shadow part? Using power for self. I know how to say it, but I don't know if I can get the word out right now. Aggrandizement. There we go. That was a little bit of a tongue twister for me. I got intimidated by how many letters were in that word. A lot of letters. I felt like I was in like elementary school again when the teacher is telling you to read in class. I know how to fucking read. I teach kids freaking literacy and shit for a living, so I know how to read. But goddamn, that was a little rough. But what I'm getting is, especially with the energy we were seeing before, like with this energy, like with the heart chakra and the throat chakra and all that, there could have been somebody who just, you know, was in your energy who was not what they, claimed to be. And you had to kind of push against that. And now you're working on yourself. We have networker on the top. It was in the reverse, but let's see what it's got to say. Light attributes enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. But the shadow attribute is conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So maybe there was like a prince. Like I'm getting like Prince Charming, but like false kind of shit, who was spreading like a certain like, how can I put it? Spreading falsehoods in the sense of who they truly were, making you think that they were something else. Like coming out as like a Prince Charming kind of thing, but they weren't really that. Yeah, see, look. Knight is also in the reverse. Like, so I'm getting like knight in shining armor. Let's see what that, like, look. It's only it's in the reverse in the deck. So I'm gonna take heed to that. It says in the upright it will be loyalty, romance, and chivalry, love of honor. But in the shadow, which is how it came out, allegiance to destructive ruler, or sorry, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principal, romantic delusion. So this is a person in your energy. I'm hoping like the past energy, who it was a very deluded kind of situation. This person pretended to be something that they weren't, and now you're getting out of that. I wasn't even picking up on a love reading initially, but it looks like that might be where it's going. Like a past love reading type thing. Wait, hold on. I see you guys are chatting up in here. Yeah, I'm the 13th and you're the 10th. Yeah, happy belated. That's so cool. Yeah, it was on Saturday. No worries, Aya. Love you, girl. Love you. Oh, Veronica. It's funny. Like, I know what your actual name is, and I still call you Aya when I see your name pop up. That's so funny. I don't know if you're using a heating pad because you're on your cycle. I am too. Kicking my ass. I'm like, oh my god. I had to leave work early the other day because of it. I was like, and I never leave work for that. I be chilling, and I'm just like, why do I feel so bad today? um, we have child orphan. Interesting. This is a little bit of a different energy. So, of course, because it is a collective, take the messages as they resonate. We definitely picked up on a little bit of love, but now we're picking up on something slightly different here. Um, it says independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Interesting. And what's interesting though? Sorry to cut my own self off and to, hopefully I don't confuse you guys, but I just did a reading talking about like, I don't remember which reading it was, but it was very recent. It might have been like Monday or something. I don't remember what day it was, but I was talking about like this energy of kind of removing self from like expectations like bestowed upon family and stuff like that were bestowed upon you like from family and stuff, because the Hierophant kept showing up and I was talking about like those core value systems and things like that, and then like the Six of Cups kept showing up. Like it was just like a lot of that kind of energy. Some of you guys might resonate with that reading. Unfortunately, I don't remember exactly what reading that was, but and picking up on something like that. um yes, so the shadow attribute of this one is feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Very, very interesting. Yeah, so maybe looking outside of self to try to like fill a void, outside of your own family to fill a void. That's like kind of like a little bit of codependency. This codependency can show up in many different forms. Um, so some of you guys could resonate with that, possibly. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it happens to the best of us. Like, I know that I've had, codependent issues myself. I definitely dealt with like daddy issues. Um, as I've gotten older, I can pinpoint exactly what it all meant, what it is. But it took me a long time, to understand what all that stuff meant. So some of you guys might resonate with something along those lines. Oh, another card about child. Let's see. It's in the reverse. Child, magical. The light attributes is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. I like that. But the shadow attribute is, this is how it came out. initially. Pessimism, there we go. Depression and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Going back to, because these are both child cards, there could be this, like, a little bit of a disconnect when it comes to, you know, your expectations of what you want to see in the people, like maybe growing up, the adults around you, right? You expected them to be a certain way and they disappointed you and they were not what they, you know should have been, and that might have made you feel a sense of abandonment, right? Making you feel orphaned. Some of you might actually be orphans. um so, like, losing sight of what that magic is supposed to look like in childhood, right? you know or having, such high expectations of the people around you, and then them letting you down, and then it puts you in that position where you don't trust people. um Getting something along those lines, let me know if it makes sense. Top of the deck, we have poet. Light attribute expresses soul, insights in symbolic language. Shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. Interesting. So, like, I'm getting like gift of, gab, like somebody who knows how to really use their words in a way where it could either really hurt, like it could make or break you, like it could really hurt you, or it could, actually build you up. And people are in control of how they use their words, and then we're in control of how we allow ourselves to interpret those words and what we allow it to, how we allow it to impact us. um, when we're a child, we have no control over that, but when we're older, we can see the patterns and see how a person and how they talk to us, like, do they breathe life into us? I'm hoping this stuff is making sense. I know it seems like I'm kind of yapping a little bit, but, like, I'm hoping it does make sense. um Being able to understand that, there are people who are going to come into our lives and talk life into us and breathe life into us, while others are going to, talk down to us. And we have to be the ones to know how to shut that off. Like, are we going to let people come into our lives and, cause destruction, or help build us up? We do have, you know, control over that. Um, I'm learning at this at this big age, um, that, I have allowed people to have way more control in my life than they should have, and how their words have impacted me, and what I can do to turn that around and be able to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna let that person and what they just said make me feel like I've been destroyed. If they're not breathing life into me and bringing positivity into my life, or some type of sense of, I just heard the word, reform. Like, why does their opinion of me matter? You know what I mean? Like, what they have to say probably means nothing. So, if that makes sense to you, Spirit wanted me to make sure that was mentioned. Look, you can't make this shit up. Middle of the deck, we have Don Juan in the reverse. So that's like the shadow attribute. It says light attribute spotlights your positive seductive qualities. Shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. This was in the reverse. So there was definitely a person in your energy who, could have been like that. Again, that gift of gab, saying just the right words when it suited them and fitted their needs, and then turning it around in a way that's not so, productive, and, having a negative impact as well. Again, hoping it makes sense. Again, take the messages as they resonate, leave the rest behind, because this is a collective. If you're new to the channel and you are resonating with this, hit that like button and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It would be nice to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. But we have storyteller, light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Interesting. Shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others. This is all going to that heart. I mean, the throat chakra stuff that we were talking about earlier. It keeps coming out, and now it's just coming out in a different deck. So, mm, yeah. So blessings is saying that she understands, and Cynthia is saying the same. It's all making sense, and I'm happy that this is, resonating with you guys, because, You know, obviously with collectives, you know, it's like a hit or a miss, right? But a lot of times, you know, it does kind of resonate because, you know, a lot of us are kind of in the same collective and a lot of us are in the same circle. Like, you know, we all, like, I have followers who follow, like, my favorite readers or friends or whatever. Like, you know, we're all kind of connected at this point. So a lot of the times, like, they do resonate. But, like, for a newcomer, it might be different, right? So again, take the messages as they resonate. The messages tend to like shift and change a little bit, or the overall energy does shift and change as we have new people come in. So the more new people that come in, the more we see new energy shift and change. So you know, so we don't just keep again the same energy and messages over and over. So that's when it's nice to see like new people popping in who haven't been here before, because you know we all have different things going on, and it's nice to kind of have that be seen and understood as well. All right, so bottom of the deck we have engineer. It says ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. Shadow attribute reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Interesting. Um, it's interesting. I just heard the word pragmatic, so somebody could be very pragmatic, um, rather than like everything is just always like head over heart all the time. Which you know that's why there's this energy of balance, right? That's why I like this deck, because if you're always in your head about everything, this is what I'm picking up on. If a person is always in their head about every little thing, then when do you have a chance for your heart to shine and your emotions to shine through? You can't really allow for that to happen. And ironically, what's on the top of the deck? Lover. As I say that, that's crazy. Um, the light attributes are great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attribute, obsessive passion that harms others. Exactly. We see that energy popping up. Self destructive devotion. Yeah, and that's another thing. For some of you who resonate with this idea of some of this could be like kind of like that codependent kind of thing within yourself. Um, I'm hearing like, I'm a lover, not a fighter. And it's, you know, in and of itself, that's not a bad thing. But if it's with the wrong for the wrong thing or for the wrong person, that's where it can become, you know, a detriment, right? Prostitute, interesting. um, light, light has her lighthearted. Light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Okay. Whereas the shadow is places material considerations and security above self empowerment. So like I'm getting like selling your soul, selling yourself. Like don't sell yourself for nobody. But the you know the positive aspect would be you don't allow for that to happen. Like you have the qualities and all that stuff that people are willing to pay for, type of thing, and not just sexually, but just in general. And I say pay with like air quotes around it. um but then you still possess those powers that you, like I said, like your soul's not for sale. Like you're not about to sit there and be like putting yourself out there. So just be mindful of, you know, the energy that you know, I heard captivating, the energy that you're willing to put out there, and how you allow people to, I heard the word consume. Like how do you allow people to consume you? Because like if you're allowing people to like come into your energy and like do some bullshit, like that's not good, right? So it's about being mindful about how much of yourself you give to other people, is what I'm kind of getting from that. All right, I have a little bit of wine here, a little rosé. So not bad, not bad. All right, so let's read from a deck that I have not read from in a very long time, the Psychic Tarot. I have not read from these in so long for myself or on here. Um, but I felt so drawn to them tonight, so here we are. So let's just kind of do almost like a whatever comes out kind of thing, and go from there. And then I have a few other decks to pull from as well, and then we'll close out the reading. Hopefully you guys are resonating. Grateful for you guys for being here. Excuse me. maybe chakra card were to show up in this deck. Because I like this deck because it does have like chakras in it. And then it has all the major arcanas. And then it has some of the suit cards too. But yeah, like you have to understand like what each card means, like based on like traditional tarot, because otherwise it gets a little bit confusing. I heard Confucius. That's a philosopher. Not sure if any of you guys are into philosophy or not, but for some reason I just heard that. All right, one more shuffle. Because I haven't used these in a while, so I want to make sure they're, well shuffled. Thank you. Spiritual union here on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So it's like the Two of Cups. So I definitely was picking up on the possibility of this being about a past relationship type of thing. For a lot of you. So with that popping up on the bottom is giving some confirmation. All right, tell us more. What's going on with the collective based on the energy we've seen so far? Give us a little bit more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Some of you guys might be Britney Spears fans. All right, let's see what we got. We have fulfillment of wishes. This is the equivalent of the Nine of Cups in this deck. So I feel like you guys are at this point where you're working on your overall happiness, which is good. You wish to feel more fulfilled in your life. And you're just kind of, throwing everything else at the wayside. Anything that has made you feel, yeah, look. Yeah. You guys went through so much already. We have suffering in silence. That's like the equivalent of the Nine of Swords here on the bottom. Like you've been through so much mentally, emotionally. And it's like you're just at that point now, you're like, this is what I need. This is what I want. I need to feel a sense of happiness and fulfillment finally. You've chosen to get to this point. Choose wisely, Seven of Cups energy. So moving on, right? Moving past the nonsense, making a choice for yourself that allows for you to be in a better place. Crown chakra is here in the middle of the deck. So some of you guys might be feeling more in tune with some of your, spiritual gifts and things like that if you're into that kind of thing. And that crown chakra is on point right now. Like you're realizing a lot of stuff. You're getting a lot of downloads from spirit and really connecting with spirit at this time. Your psychic abilities, if you have any, are starting to pick up more and things like that because you're allowing for that clearance to happen. You're like those blockages that were there are starting to lift. So it allows for there to be this chance for that high crown chakra right there to start really developing. Let me know if this is all resonating with you guys in the comments or through reactions or through liking, so on and so forth. All right, see, I knew heart chakra was going to come up. We have two cards that came out together. So we have heart chakra here, and we were talking about the heart chakra earlier. And ironically, like on the spread, it landed on artificial heart. And then we have new beginnings, but it's in the reverse. It's like the Fool card in this deck. I think the only reason why that's in the reverse is because there's an emphasis that they want you guys to be able to take these risks, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, because it's like, doing something as near and dear to yourself, even though you might have been through a lot of things that have, made you feel a little bit, closed off or makes you feel held back. They want you to know that it's okay to take that risk and that leap of faith. All it takes is really following your intuition. You guys have a great sense of intuition. It's like the High Priestess. So it's really just about making sure that you allow yourself to, you've made mistakes already, right? Trust your intuition when it comes to, navigating mistakes made and how you approach new situations as they approach. We have spiritual strength here, which is the equivalent of the Nine of Wands, I believe, here on the top. You've been through a lot, endured a lot, but Spirit is letting you know, now you've learned a lot of lessons and now it's time to move forward. We have patience and planning, which is the same thing as the Seven of Wands, I believe. Right? Yeah, Seven of Wands. Like I said, I haven't read from these in a while, so I had to think about it. Yeah, Seven of Wands. No, sorry, not Seven of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. Um, yeah, Seven of Pentacles. So like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself, right? Investing in yourself more, and they're like, this is just the time to focus on the things that make you happy and put in that effort and that hard work when it comes to doing what makes you feel fulfilled. It's not about other people. It's not about the past. It's about yourself and your future. The truth, and that's the truth. Seeing the truth in your circumstances and what lies within the truth. What does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? Let's get a couple more from here. Hoping this is all making sense and resonating. The light, I love that. Let there be light. And what was the whole point of this reading? The light at the end of the tunnel, right? You're seeing the light, and the light comes from your truth. Yep. And as you find that truth, you find a sense of harmony within yourself. That's like the lovers. Um, like this. Passion ignited, which is like the Ace of Wands in this deck. Yeah. But they're like you have to remove yourself from the things that made you feel stuck and bound. Especially like mentally and emotionally. Like they're like, you gotta let those things go. You have two cards that flew out, so I'm gonna take both. Stand your ground. It's like the Seven of Wands. Yeah, standing your ground against anything that tries to hold you back. Especially anything that makes you feel like you're not being recognized for your hard work, because this card came out in the reverse with that card. Recognition and reward here. Three of Pentacles. So, or the equivalent of the Three of Pentacles. So, like, they're saying, they want you guys to recognize who you are. And if there's ever a moment where you feel like you don't recognize that, don't ever forget who you are. Stand on that truth when it comes to setting boundaries. And even if you have to set boundaries against your own self, sometimes like those internal things that happen when we are beating ourselves up and doubting ourselves, like spirit's like, nope, you're not doing that. That's all done. All done. Yeah, because they're like, there's so many things that are coming towards you that you've worked so hard towards within yourself, and even like the more like 3D things, like working on your finances and things like that, and career. Like, they're just putting so much emphasis on the fact that they want you guys to keep remembering who you are. You have material harvest here, which is like the Nine of Pentacles. So you got the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles showing up in this deck. So not only is like are things about to get better financially, but just emotionally too. It's just gonna be this emotional fulfillment happening, positive movement forward. That's the same thing as the Eight of Wands here. I just heard the word trajectory. So a lot of positive things happening. Emotional loss, and this is after a period of loss. Five of Cups energy. This is after a period of loss, and now you're going to start to see a lot of things starting to shift and change. Let's get one more from here. A lot of things starting to shift and change. Thank you. Yep, choose wisely. But see, the choice is yours, right? I just heard the power is yours from Captain Planet. Those of you who are millennials and might remember. That's what I just heard. So yeah, like, it's just a matter of recognizing that and being able to, I just heard feel safe. You have to feel safe within yourself when it comes to being able to make these choices, right? And that might be where the disconnect is sometimes, where you're like, okay, well, yeah, like I want to feel quote unquote safe and confident. That's a good word. I'm confident in my decision making and stuff like that, but sometimes I don't feel that way because of mistakes I've made in the past. Well, they're letting you know those mistakes are what prompted your overall soul growth. And this is a 4949, as I said, that adds up to 1313, right? And the number 13 represents death and rebirth. And now there happens to be 5 people here and like 8 likes. Also adds up to 13. So 13 might be very, very prevalent for some of you guys at this time. Um, Let me know if that makes any sense. But definitely an emphasis on this energy of death and rebirth, endings, new beginnings. We picked up on that way early in the reading too. So I am going to pull now from the African Goddess deck. Haven't used these on here in forever. So I misplaced them actually. I just saw Naked. We had saw Naked under the stars in the first deck that we used. So there's definitely this energy of, you know, being your authentic self, you know, accepting yourself for who you really are, flaws and all. You don't have to be perfect. Nothing wrong with, you know, having imperfections as long as you're willing to work on the things that need to be worked on and accepting that. We have sacred lust. Interesting. Excuse me. I'm getting that surrender. Okay. One of the things I picked up on this a little bit earlier too was like this energy. Maybe that's what the prostitute part meant. There's this energy of like, remember I was talking about like codependency for those of you who've been watching like since earlier. Like there's like codependency and stuff like that from past relationships and things of that nature. One of the things that could have been a low point or a weak point within connections is lust. And what I mean by that is basing relationships off of sex. Just, you know, gonna call a spade a spade. This is not gonna be for everybody, right? So, you know, with that said, I can, one thing with me, I'm very, very transparent on my channel, and I'll be honest. Like I've talked about this many times on here. What did Blessing say? Thank you. I was born on the 13th. I was also born on a Friday, Friday the 13th. But yeah, like I hope to see that high potential in life and career happen this upcoming year because I feel like I have not been doing as great as I would like to do when it comes to all that stuff, and I know I need to do some more work. So I'm hoping that, you know, if I get more motivated and do the things I need to do and be more, you know, forthcoming with all those things and, you know, all that good stuff, maybe we'll see some stuff happen. um, so we shall see. But yeah, so like I said, you know, this energy of individuals who might resonate with the idea that, you know, there might have been relationships that had a very, very strong tie to sex and lust and understanding. That's why like Don Juan showed up and all those cards, right? Gift of gab, you know, somebody who could just charm your panties off. You know, most of my people who are watching are women, just being honest. um so it's like most of us have been there at least once in our lives, right? I've been there more than once, I will say that. And dealt with karmic relationships because of that. And some of you guys might have a very similar background when it comes to that. And it does happen, you know. That I feel like that's a lesson that I've had, that, like I said, a karmic lesson that I had to learn, not just in this lifetime, but even probably previous lifetimes, that you can't base everything off of that. And I, you know, practiced celibacy on more than one occasion, but this past time I did it for almost 3 years. And it was well worth the wait because now I'm in a relationship and, you know, it's been just over a year now and things are pretty good for the most part. So, you know, I'm pretty happy where I'm at. And you know, I feel like, you know, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. You know, God knew what I needed when he, gave me those different situations in my life to figure out what I needed to do. And, the lessons I needed to learn, he was like, let's see if she gonna make the same mistake again. Right? Is she gonna, repeat that pattern, or is she gonna learn from it? I repeated some patterns, and then I had to learn some more lessons. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing that dumb shit again. And then I did what I needed to do for myself. I worked on my self growth and all that stuff. And when the time was right, I met who I believe is the right person. And like I said, things are for the most part pretty good. You know, nothing's perfect, but I would say that things have been pretty fucking good. So, I would say I'm pretty happy, and he's happy. We talk about marriage and all that. He even thinking about babies. I'm like, Nick. we both too damn old to have no damn kids. We both got grown children and shit. But anyway, he might be watching on the low. He probably gonna text me, be like, babe, really? I'm be like, yes, I was talking shit about you. Love you. Anywho, so the cards that just came out are we have two that came out actually. We have Cosmic Power, and along with Cosmic Power came Joy. And look what the hell is in the Spirit. Is this a sign? Look, Joy. But look what she throat chakra. Look what's in there though, guys. In that picture, she's breastfeeding, and she has afro too. And I'm trying to grow my afro out. Y'all niggas better not be saying that I should be having a baby. But anyway, I'm gonna read this as wait. Let me read. Let me get out of that for a second. I'm a life path 3. Life path 3 for me. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. They are so doggone cute. But you know what? I have students for that reason, because they're super cute. Like, even, exactly. Like, even today, like, at work, my students were so cute. And then, like, one of my students calls me mom. And I'm like, honey, I'm not your mom. Or mommy, mama. I'm like, honey, I'm not your mom. I'm just Michelle. But then another one called me mom by accident, but he corrected himself. It was like my little Sebastian. He's so cute. Sebastian's like, Mom, Michelle, can we play? What did he want to play? He wanted to play Guess Who, Animal Edition, and it was really cute how he like came to me. He's like, Mom, and I was just like, oh, it's so cute. But it goes to show I have like a very nurturing, spirit to me. But like I said, my students are my babies. Hey, if God has a different thing in store for me, then it is what it is. I guess I'll be a mama again, but to a baby. But so what I was about to say with that is like I'm getting this energy, especially because we did pick up on like mostly like romance here throughout this reading. There is this synergy. I heard the word synergy too. There's this synergy that for those of you who are still kind of waiting for like that right person to come in, I just heard that is, and I'm more, I didn't so much hear it, but I saw it like just coming together, and then like fireworks. Like it's just gonna be like this really like climactic like thing, and it's gonna be very joyous. Like it's gonna feel really good. Like the person that whoever this person is who might come into your life, for those of you who are resonating, this is gonna feel really, really positive. And like you're gonna like, I just got like so warm and fuzzy, like because I was a little bit cold a second ago, and now all of a sudden I got so warm, and it's like an embrace. Like it's gonna feel good. Like you're gonna feel like, wow, this is what I've been waiting for, and this is why everything else just didn't work out. This is what I'm getting. So that's really nice. And if you ain't trying to have a baby, you better wrap it up. Aw, that's so exciting. That's so nice. I love working with the kids. I really do. They be whooping my ass, but like I got my I got my ass whoops on Friday. Whoops. My student had a rough day, like towards the end, and I had to put him on his van to go home, and we had to hold him like a restraint or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my god. And then he bit me, and he was trying to bite everybody else and kick people in the face. And I was just like, yo, I'm trying to keep y'all safe. Like y'all might want to like back up, like because y'all don't know what y'all doing. Move, because he gonna kill all y'all. Face off up in this bitch. He gonna bite you. He gonna scratch you up. He gonna kick you in the face and break your face. Like, let me help you, please. Help me help you. All right, so we have two cards that came out. Tell them about the power of two too. Two. A lot of cards have been coming out in pairs. I've just noticed. So there's a power in the number of two. So some of you guys might be seeing the number two a lot, or like variations of two. Let me know if that resonates. We have Seven Sisters, creativity. So some of you guys might be feeling creative ventures kind of happening. We have I usually don't say the goddesses' names because I don't want to say them wrong, and like, you know, as I don't want to embarrass myself and or just be wrong. But it says Mama Jambo. I think that's how you say it. Jambo. And it says shine. Some of you, I'm also picking up on like Capricorn vibes here. Let me know if that resonates. But yeah, like I'm getting this energy of like shining light on like your creativity, shining light on your creative ideas. This is a time of creation. And that could also explain the like the baby in that picture that we saw in the other one. Like maybe it's not like an actual like baby, but maybe giving creation to something, and birth to something new that you haven't done before. We have miracles here on the bottom of the deck. I believe in miracles. I don't know why I'm picking up on this. Let me know if it resonates in the comments. But excuse me, do any of you guys who are watching currently have ties to Haitian ancestry? Let me know in the comments. I'm not sure why I'm picking up on Haiti, but I am. Picking up on Haiti. Let's get one or two more from here. Pleasure. It's giving me kind of like, I'm getting like sacral chakra vibes. And that goes back to creation. It also could be about pleasure, like physical pleasure. It could be about, sensuality. So I'm getting a little bit of all those things right now. And then especially like because we're picking up on babies. So those of you who are like, those of you who are interested in having a baby, I mean, there's a possibility. And if you're not interested in a baby, then be careful because, there could be a possibility. We have a Sakmet here with Wounded Healer. I'm getting a couple of things. One thing I'm picking up on is healing the sacral chakra. So this is getting a little bit darker than I would like it to, but I'm going to say it anyway because Spirit is telling me to. Some of you might be healing from experiencing like, that might be confirmation, especially as my sister is going on live right now. Tears and Wheat Tarot show, Lati, she's going on, so I'm gonna get ready to cut this off so I could go watch her. But what I am picking up on possibly is somebody who might have dealt with like rape or molestation. I know that's very, very dark, and I didn't mean for it to go that dark, but I'm picking up on something like that. So if there's a blockage when it comes to your sacral chakra and that has something to do with it, it's time to work on healing that. I'm also just getting a overall energy of people who are wounded healers, like they've been through a lot of things and they're taking their own personal experiences and using that as a way, as a catalyst to transmute energy and, you know, help other people heal. I'm getting that as well. So I'm getting like more than one thing. Um, so I hope that makes sense. We also have shame. So letting go of shame. I'm also getting body image issues. So if body image has been an issue for any of you, um, let that go. I know that's hard because I have body image issues myself. But spirit is like saying work on that. There might be some healing that needs to go on with that as well. Self exploration might be a way to work on that. This is what spirit's telling me. Just saying. So maybe like, just being honest, masturbation might be, you know, a way to work on that. Exploring your body and, you know, making love to yourself in a way. I know it sounds like kind of like what, but this is what I'm picking up on. Like, some of you might resonate with the idea of, or like liking the song by Tweet, "Oops, oh my," like, "Oops, there goes my shirt up over my head, oh my." And she's like, that song's about self exploration. She's looking at her own body and admiring it. So I'm getting something like that. Interesting. I also have seasons here on the bottom of, I mean, the middle of the deck. It says Nana Baluku. So, you know, there are these seasons, and the number on here is one. So remember, we're talking about completion and starting over. So, yeah, starting over, right? From scratch. Those seasons, those old seasons are coming to a close. And it's time to, you know, do what's best for yourself at this time. I am going to read maybe one more card from three decks. So three more cards total. And that will be the end of this reading because I'm also hungry. So I'm going to get one card from this one, and then I have two other decks to read from, and that will be the end of the reading. I hope that you guys resonated with this reading thus far, and thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate you guys. And I know that Lati is on, so y'all probably like, okay, I gotta jump ship, I gotta go over there. I don't blame you because that's my girl right there too. So um, let's see what's on the bottom. Energy attachments, yeah, exactly. And the number on here is 13. Energy exchange, negative influences, and self-sabotage. Yeah. Holding on to old attachments will keep you in a loop, right? It'll keep you stuck. So in order to move forward, you have to sever those ties. So it's like, that's why there's that death and rebirth, right? Killing off, like, it's giving me like ego death kind of vibes. Like, gotta kill off those old versions of yourself so you can move on. Ironically enough, the number on this one is 12, which is right before the 13, but this is the one that showed up. Divine creation goes right back to what we were talking about creativity and all that stuff. um Acceptance, personal commitments, and euphoria. I like it. Okay. I would say this is definitely going back to, you know, what we just said. Bottom of the deck, we have light activation, evolution of spirit, actioning of plans, and transcendence. Yes. Definitely giving me like this energy of like, you know, again, the sacral chakra and giving birth to something new, creativity. I love that. All right, so we're gonna get one from here. This is the Lightworkers deck. Let's get one from here, and then a clarifying life situations card, and that will be the end of this reading. I really do hope that you guys resonated with this though, and I'm grateful for you guys for being here this whole time. Or even if you were like in and out, I greatly appreciate you guys for tapping in at all, for sure. And if you're new, like I said, I would greatly appreciate you guys subscribing. I would love to hit the 500 mark by the end of the year. That would be awesome. Bottom of the deck, we have the Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Here on the bottom of the deck. Let's get a card from here. Is her divinity in motion. You are the divine, and it works through you and it moves through you. I just picked that up. All right, what we got? Wow, all these came out. Okay, I'm gonna take them. If Spirit wants me to read them, I will. This is the reason why they came out. Lost Islands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Going back to like karma, right? Karmic lessons, reliving things. Star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. This is all together, by the way. So we have like this energy of something being lost, but being found now. Star family, you are a part of a team of souls. Call and support. You don't have to do all this by yourself. You don't have to do all this by yourself. So if you've been feeling lost, you can rely on your soul tribe, you can rely on your ancestors to help navigate you. Surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure. Got pleasure here and joy here more than once now. Pleasure, joy, make love to life. Wow. Something about that damn sacral chakra, guys. Wow. Maybe y'all need to get laid. I'm just saying. I'm trying to do that this weekend. But anyway. We got in the bottom. Earth school. Exactly. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Everything that's happening is meant to happen for a reason. You are learning something. Now, I just saw Blessing says something about a book, online coloring books. So, you're talking about coloring books, this is talking about Earth School. So it's like, and then we're talking about creativity. Like, there's just all these little, nuances here, right? That kind of, come back in alignment with each other, especially with all of us being, in the same collective, right? All right, so shuffle this, and then we're gonna get one card to close out this reading, and that'll be it. And then I'm about to go tap into Lati's reading, see what she's talking about over there, and that will be the end of this. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Love you guys, greatly appreciate you. And I'm gonna eat something. I have some Puerto Rican chicken noodle soup. Oh, can't wait to eat that. I love me some soup. Bottom of the deck we have make miracles. It says stay open-minded and receptive to the magic unfolding in your life. But on the other end of it, it says dreamweaver. Dreaming and imagining bring your powerful vision into reality. So like make your dreams a reality. Like if you've been, having all these thoughts and ideas, and I feel like that's definitely a message for myself, have all these thoughts and ideas when it comes especially to this creativity. This is a time for you to actually utilize like all these different thoughts that are coming into towards you, these creative thoughts. They want you guys to utilize them. Excuse me. Inner vision. I'm also getting some of you guys maybe be clairvoyant. Inner vision. Cut through the fog of confusion with your power of discernment. And on the other end of that, it says, see what's real. Observe with clarity. So if you've been feeling a little unclear, there could be a blockage in your like third eye, but they're letting you know like there's definitely something there that you need to be paying attention to. True insight lies beyond the surface. So they want you to put a little bit more emphasis on those things. Create a new identity on the bottom of the deck. Embrace change and rediscover yourself, crafting a narrative aligned with your true essence. Exactly. When we talked about wearing a false mask and all of that and taking that mask off and being your real, true, authentic self. That's crazy. Sculpture of self. Shape the sculpture of self, honoring the perpetual act of forming and expressing identity. You can't make this shit up even if you wanted to. So with all that said, my loves, wow, well, I would say this was a really nice reading. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of it because I definitely enjoyed delivering that message to y'all. And I love you guys so very, very much. I will try to pop in again maybe tomorrow or Friday. Probably won't happen. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow seems promising. Not making guarantees, but I'm gonna try to pop in again tomorrow. And with all that said, I love y'all. Have a great rest of your night. And if you haven't done so already, go check out my girl Lati, okay, at Tears and Wheat Tarot Show because she is live right now, and that's what I'm about to go check out. So until next time, my loves, have a great rest of your evening, and until next time, mwah, bye.